Hello friends, I'm Kayla. I have this wonderful group of channel members who I have asked to fill out the spreadsheet of listing all of their favorite books. I've done a couple videos in this series where I take a whole bunch of their favorite books with just the number one spot missing, and I put together all the clues and try to figure out what that one is. Today is another episode in the series, but it's getting a little bit stupider. Instead, what I'm doing is I don't get to see any of their favorite books. I just see the basic information that I have from them, their name, their age, their zodiac and enneagram signs, their job, and I want to guess all of their favorite books. Or at least something. My goal is to at least predict one book on their favorites list. So we're just gonna dive right in. I've been putting together a lot of stats. I'm compiling a lot of data, and I'm going to put out a video for my channel members in a couple weeks where I go through a bunch of data. I give recommendations essentially for every zodiac sign, every enneagram sign. I give some stats that I find really interesting, like which zodiac sign is most likely to be each enneagram, because there are weirdly trends with that. For example, every zodiac sign is just as likely to be a type 9 as any other zodiac sign except for Aries. Aries are almost never a type 9, while Cancers are very frequently type 4s, and Tauruses are almost never a type 3. I just think these things are so interesting. So thank you to everybody who's been sharing all of the information with me so I can just, for my own interest, put more stats together with your stats. I picked a random person from the spreadsheet, and we're gonna start here, and we're just gonna see where the video goes and how many I can include in the next 45 minutes. Today we're gonna start with Elliot. Elliot is a Libra and a type 5. And I think that'll ease us into this concept because there are a lot of Libras and type 5s who I've compiled data about, and I know reading trends already. There were so many Libras and type 5s who participated. So this is an air sign person. I don't know whether you believe in the zodiac or not. That's the, guidance that I have to pick anything from Elliot's list. The Libra loves balance. They like to see every side of things, but they're also indecisive because they can see every side of things. They love gossip. They love being mediators. They love buying new stuff. So I think that my first prediction, maybe there will be, okay, well, I can't really predict, what editions of things, but I would bet that Elliot has collector's editions of books, special editions of books. And I'm going to guess that Elliot has no books older than the year 2000. One thing I'm thinking is that maybe Libras and type 5s, as a combo, this person could like ambiguous books. The type of book where you can overthink what the meaning was and there isn't a solid answer by the end, so you get to figure stuff out on your own. Type 5 is like an investigator. They want to know everything. Oh, Elliot is an archaeologist. I forgot to mention that. They live in California. They're 28 and their Instagram is Witchy Cats. I think that I should get a glance at everyone's Instagram. Do you think that's fair? Maybe after I've guessed a couple things, I get to look at their Instagram for one quick glance, assuming it's not gonna be a bookish specific account, and just catch a vibe for them. I think that's fair. So a job in the sciences, I think, makes sense for a type 5. Very observant, very detail oriented. Elliot wants to learn. Elliot wants the gossip so bad. They are looking at, humanity's gossip. They want all of human history's gossip. Now, I could be wrong about every single thing that I'm saying here, but I don't think that Elliot is going to list archaeology books here. I don't think that would be considered favorites, even though I'm sure they're informative. I think we're looking at fiction, maybe something more like What the River Knows. I think that's something that has an archaeologist as a main character. A Curious Beginning could be something historical, because they're very intelligent people. Maybe intelligent people want to read about intelligent people. I wouldn't know. You know what I think Libras could like? I think Libras could like two people who are up against each other. So A Curious Beginning. Two people who are trying to battle or trying to work together. So I'm now thinking Vicious, The Darkness Outside Us, fantasy, science fiction. I don't know. I have to pin down a genre for all of these people. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think I'm gonna have to pull something from everywhere. Maybe Gideon the Ninth, that could make sense to me. Piranesi, or even Project Hail Mary, or This Is How You Lose the Time War. I am listing things that are really popular. I have a list of the 30 most mentioned books on the entire spreadsheet because I need some type of guidance in general of what people like. I think I deserve a quick glance at the Instagram. First, the username is Witchy Cats. Wait, Witchy Cats. I haven't mentioned any witchy books. Witchy books with cats. The only cat books I can think of is like the Traveling Cat Chronicles. Okay, this is Elliot. He, him. I'm gonna blur out anybody else who's featured in these pictures because they did not probably consent to being in my video. Just because you love cats and you're a cat dad doesn't necessarily mean that you want to read about cats, but it probably does. Okay, I'm gonna throw in a couple other things. I'm thinking like California, West Coast, water, chlorine. I'm thinking queer books. I'm thinking House in the Cerulean Sea, Cemetery Boys. Maybe something with intellectual characters, like if you're studying and you're doing all of this smart work, maybe you like things like Babel, or if we were villains or The Secret History. Oh, maybe Emily Wilde. Would that be a crazy one? Oh, and now I need to, hold on. I need to like get in the middle because I'm gonna see Elliot's actual list. Well, I'm gonna read everything out to you. So if I don't react right away, if you see something right away, it's because I'm slowly reading the list. Okay, let's go. The Tainted Cup, House in the Cerulean Sea, I got one. Casket of Souls, A Psalm of the Wild Belt. If I didn't say that, I almost said it. Vanished Birds, Against the Loveless World, Emily Wilde. Oh, Compendium of Lost Tales. Interesting. Chain Gang All-Stars, God Killer, The Safekeeping, The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. Okay, I haven't heard of a lot of these. I haven't read a lot of these. There's lots of queer stuff here. Bookshops and Bone Dust, The Spell Shop, Witchy, I forgot about the witchiness. Gay the Pray Away, Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. Okay, I should have ended up leaning cozier. What? I don't know. I got a couple points. How many points do I need by the end to win? Favorite of all time is The Tainted Cup. Considering how many things are on this list that I also enjoyed, I really need to read The Tainted Cup. It's on my TBR, don't worry. I might have been right in my assumption that there wasn't any old books on here. Like maybe one or two, but it wasn't full of classics. And I do believe that there are beautiful, unique editions of a lot of these books. And Elliot, I would love for you to comment and let us know if you own any of them. So I wasn't super correct with Elliot, but I think a lot of the things that I said, you could apply to the books on his list. Do you agree? Let's move on to someone then that I should know. And then we can prove like if you can take people's data and make assumptions about them, because I'm gonna take people who have the most in common with me. I'm gonna find somebody who has the most stats alike to me. So I need to find someone on the spreadsheet who's a type 8 and an Aries. It looks like there are 4 people who fit that. We have Chandra, Chloe, Pamela, and Nicole. Ooh, this is tough. 2 of them are Canadian, but 2 of them are from Washington, which is actually closer to me than Montreal. There's 2 Aries who are type 8s who live in Montreal. You guys need to become best friends. But the other 2 who live in Washington are closer to my age. They're in their 30s, and they work in marketing and art. If you combine these 2 people, it's me. Okay, I'm just gonna do both of them at the same time because one of them has to have the exact same reading taste as me to prove this theory so I can go forth into the video. I guess all I have to do is list books that are 5 stars for me. That's really all I have to do. If we to think about Aries, Aries like competitions, they like challenges, they like goals that are clearly set out for us. And so maybe for characters, we want to see them accomplish goals for sure. Also, I think Aries get bored quickly, and that could lead to wanting short books or short story collections. So I guarantee each of these people will have a novella and a short story collection, at least one, on each of their lists. How You Lose the Time War. That is the perfect first thing that came to mind. As far as goals and quests, some of my 5-star reads, or maybe 4-star, because there are a lot of books that I could think of that I almost love, but I think would be perfect for someone who reads like me. Ready Player One. That is such an Aries book. Emily Wilde, The Raven Cycle. I think all Aries type 8s should have The Raven Cycle on their favorites. As an Aries, I want to win. As a type 8, I want everyone to win. Type 8s, I think, want the best for everyone. They want everyone involved. They want to stand up for everyone. They want to be an advocate. They want everyone to get what they want. There's nothing better to me than ending in a tie. I want everyone to equally win. I don't see it as equally losing. I see it as equally winning. So fast-moving plot lines, maybe like different POVs, books about like justice. Chain Gang All-Stars was on Elliot's list. I think that would be good for an Aries. Middle Game, The Hunger Games. The Only Good Indians could be a good one for like a revenge kind of story. I think Aries like Stephen Graham Jones. Aries are also independent. and determined and passionate and stubborn. I think maybe weird horror, like it would be so weird for me to not mention some weird horror. So I think Aries type 8s who work in art and marketing would like Bunny, House of Leaves, Monstrilio. Maybe like, because I like unlikable protagonists, and especially as a type 8, you want everybody to be represented. I think unlikable people need to be represented in books. So something like everyone in this room will someday be dead. As far as classics, I do think these people would have maybe 1 or 2 classics. I think Frankenstein feels very Aries coded. So does Dorian Gray. Maybe things that are weirdly written, like first person plural or written in second person. We Ride Upon Sticks, the 5th season. Okay, Nicole first. A Certain Hunger is her number 1. I should have seen that coming. Yeah, Cannibalistic Women is so Aries. House of Leaves, The Other Valley, The Heart Goes Last, The Hounding. It's not out yet. I don't know what this is. Immaculate Conception, that's so new. A History of Sound, that sounds like something I really want to read. Sea of Tranquility, I love that book. Beautyland, the what? Leo Tolstoy. Okay, The Wolf Den, The Overstory, The Anthropocene Reviewed. Okay, Once There Were Wolves, I also love that. When Women Were Dragons, I'm reading that soon. Blood Over Bright Haven. You Could Make This Place Beautiful. Did I catch a vibe? No. There are things that I liked here, so we are in alignment. There's things here that sound interesting. There's a couple things here that I might not read, but not very many of them. We've got stories about women. We've got strong, independent characters. We've got a lot of books that I don't really know that much about. Now for Chandra, our marketing liaison. House of Leaves. No fucking way. The 5th season? The Secret History, Little Women. Is this her list or mine? What's happening? Station 11, This Is How You Lose the Time War. 1984, I Who Have Never Known Men. The Picture of Dorian Gray. How Do I Convince You I Didn't Cheat? Middle Game, Bunny. To Be Taught If Fortunate. It's like the only thing on this list I haven't read. Still Waters? I don't know what that is. The Only Good Indians. 84 Charing Cross Road. I liked that. The Hollow Places. I liked that. I Have No Commentary. We're so alike. I have proven that if you look at the spreadsheet and you find someone with the same information as you, you will have the same taste in books. Good thing Chandra linked their Goodreads, or somebody might have thought that I inputted this and was just lying to be correct. That was incredible. I just decided I'm going to make this a premiere so everybody can gasp alongside me. I haven't failed yet. Let's not start now. I'm going to switch it up and grab a young person. We're going to get in touch with the youth and pick an Enneagram and Zodiac sign we haven't done yet. It looks like there are 25 besties on the spreadsheet between the ages of 18 and 20. Okay, Rachel, age 20, from Dallas, Texas, a student, Gemini, type 9, wing 1. That's my husband. My husband is a Gemini, type 9, wing 1. We do have an Instagram and Goodreads. Let's just click the Instagram. Let's start out a little crazy. It's probably a personal Instagram, so I don't think there'll be books on it. Oh, we have, what are they called? Highlights. Nature, concerts, friends, and then a bunch of places. Oh, there's only a couple pictures. I think Geminis are known for liking travel. When I think of Geminis, I think of people who are funny, enthusiastic. Same with type 9s because they're, easygoing. They're peacemakers. They're go with the flow as long as the flow is fun. That's what I think a Gemini with an Enneagram 9 would be described as. I think Gemini need to be entertained for the most part by the books they read. They're very perceptive. They're good listeners. Typically they love to chat. They don't like to be alone. Very adaptable. So many thoughts, so little time, basically. Chaotic. Gemini energy. They are the gossips that Libras want to hang out with. I think they would read like more sentimental and emotional books, but I don't think that's the number one things that they would seek out. But when they do, it might end up being a favorite because it's the occasional impactful read that they have. Obviously right now it's just student listed, so I don't have any idea of Rachel's other interests. If I look at a lot of the Geminis on the spreadsheet, there is a lot of like managers, a lot of teachers, journalists, reference librarians, editors, admin work is a lot of what's going on with Gemini, which is not what I think of with the Geminis I know in real life. What are, I don't want to make assumptions, but like what are the popular TikTok books? That's the only thing I can think of when I think of a 20-year-old. Maybe I'll just list a bunch of authors that I think would make sense. I think there will be a Taylor Jenkins Reid on here. I think there'll be a Madeline Miller. I think we'll see Sarah J. Maas, and Ali Hazelwood. Maybe like Fourth Wing, Zodiac Academy, something by Karen M. McManus, if we're talking like mysteries, Frida McFadden, Holly Black. If you like travel, maybe like the Unhoneymooners or People We Meet on Vacation could be good romance. I think we'll see romance and fantasy, but that's me making assumptions of apparently just every Gen Z. Maybe for another thriller like The Silent Patient, I know that one's really popular, and then maybe like a self-help book like Atomic Habits. That one I see mentioned by a lot of young folks. I think this is the one where I have the biggest chance of being completely off, but I don't really have much to go off of. So let's see what Rachel's into. In the Dream House. Okay, that's a great favorite. I feel bad. Ninth House. Beloved. Emily Wilde. See, I was thinking about people in general, not people who watch me. Maybe I should have thought more about my own taste. Chain Gang All-Stars, The Night Circus, Everyone's Room, Will Somebody Be Dead, Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, Bunny, I'm so glad. One Dark Window, Carrie, okay, there was one Taylor Jenkins Reid, Ophelia After All, Honey Girl, Check It, okay, we got an Ali Hazelwood too. Not the, what, oh, People We Meet on Vacation. There was Romantasy, just not the ones that I was thinking of. And Rachel has fantastic taste, so shout out to Rachel. Let's head up the other side of the spectrum and sort by age that way and find again somebody who has listed their zodiac and Enneagram so we can get as much information as possible. Speaking of teachers, we have Isabel, who is 44 from Miami, Florida, an English teacher, and a Pisces type 1. We haven't done Pisces or type 1. We do have an Instagram. It seems bookish by the name, so I'll hold off and make just a couple guesses first. I think my first assumption, if you're an English teacher, is that you're a lover of classics. So I'm sure that's not true for all people, but I have to go off of something. So I'm going to say, because I know Pride and Prejudice is on the spreadsheet a lot, Pride and Prejudice is on your list. I'm also going to throw in like Little Women and Jane Eyre. Those are my first guesses. I need to think about location more. Thinking back to the Aries people, they lived in an area that was very like outdoorsy. We all live in an area that's known for being very outdoorsy, and there was nature-focused books for sure. So what do people in Florida like? I don't know. People in Florida are surrounded by diverse culture. I can't think of any book set in Florida except for Dexter right now. Or Annihilation. I think that's set in Florida. Are those my first guesses? No, okay. What do teachers read in their off time is the question. Because you're, especially as an English teacher, you're doing a lot of like reading, writing, and looking at the writing of your students. And when you go home, you just need to escape. You don't want to be investigating the text. I think there's going to be some intellectual books for sure on Isabel's list. But I think there's also going to be escapism. Do I think that's going to go more in the direction of romance or thrillers? I think those are the two areas that I look for. Like, I want to say fantasy, but sometimes for me, fantasy is like too bogging down my head. I can read a thriller or a romance rather quickly. I do have some stats I'm going through, and I'm going to be able to tell you the Emily Henry that you should read depending on your Enneagram or zodiac sign. If a Pisces type 1 had an Emily Henry on their list, it would be People We Meet on Vacation, which tracks because you want to read vacation books when you don't get enough vacation during the school year. Pisces, I don't really know much about. The internet tells me they like romance, they like spiritual and mystical books, or just the spiritual and mystical in general. So if we mix together the romance and mystical, I would say in the lighter way, The 7-Year Slip. In the more intense way, I would say Addie LaRue. Pisces are nostalgic. They want to be in a world in the days of courting and balls and traditions. Historical romance? Okay, there's gonna be historical romance on here. Maybe like Bridgerton or something similar. Type 1s are perfectionists. So it probably took every type 1 who filled out the spreadsheet like 5 times, going back and editing it until they thought it was the perfect amalgamation of their favorite things. Type 3s also went to the spreadsheet, I'm sure, and edited 5 times, but it's not because they couldn't decide what books they loved, but because they couldn't decide which books made them seem the coolest. Type 1s are hardworking. They have a natural talent for teaching. They're sticklers for rules. So maybe they don't love books that play with form and structure. Or books that you go into and they don't turn out to be exactly what you expected. I can think of a lot of books I wouldn't put on this list. I can't think of a lot that I would. Next question, do teachers like books about teachers? Do they want to read things about caretakers? Or when they leave school, do they want to like forget about that? Like maybe this person would like Matilda. Maybe they would like The God of Endings, House in the Cerulean Sea, Nothing to See Here, about caring about younger people, raising them, inspiring them, or books set in schools. Do you think like If We Were Villains or The Secret History, Babel, or Confessions? That one would be a crazy one for a teacher to like. But I think a teacher, especially if you're into thrillers or They Never Learn, because that has to do with a school. Now let's pull up Isabel. Oh, number 1 is Rebecca. I mean, there were so many classics I could have mentioned. Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is next, and then there were none. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. For a second, I was thinking like maybe there's a childhood book. Either she teaches it or, you know, it inspired her in her childhood. In 5 Years, The Haunting of Hill House, The Westing Game, Maybe in Another Life, Lock Every Door, We Used to Live Here, One Italian Summer, Catherine House, The Awakening, and Unwanted Guest. Okay, so, oh wait, I forgot to look at her Instagram. The Measure, In an Absent Dream, The Turn of the Key, Picture Dorian Gray. Would the Instagram have helped? Oh my God, it would have, for sure. Literally says horror, thrillers, mysteries at the top. And one of the most latest posts is a Bronte post. Okay, so Isabel is a booktuber and an Instagrammer. Are any of these about teachers? Catherine House is interesting. That's like school adjacent. But yeah, a lot of them are just like classic good literature. So I should have just listed more of those. So let's move on to a zodiac sign and Enneagram that I haven't touched yet. I got like 1 point for that one. Let's find somebody who's a type 3, because we just talked about type 3s. And type 3s are really underrepresented on the spreadsheet. There's only 20 of them. Meanwhile, there's 90 type 9s. Type 3s are known for thriving on like recognition. They're competent, they're energetic, they're concerned with image and public perception. I think they just want to be seen. They want to be cool. Type 3s are so cool, they don't even have their full names listed on the spreadsheet. We've got a Sammy, a Kai, a Becca, a Trips, a Kay, a Panda. Those are the names that belong to the 3s. And then they're also very specific in their job titles. We have a campaigns and communications for a trade union person, a cognitive psychology PhD student, marketing, and then she shares her employer name, video game user analyst, retired/crochet plushie vendor. Oh, this one's really specific. Nanny, antique booth curator, online sales. Okay, Jillian. Jillian, what is an antique booth curator? Jillian is 31, from San Antonio, Texas, a Taurus sun, Cancer rising, Aries moon, Mercury and Venus type 2-3 hybrid. Very specific. Type 3s are very specific. And all of the type 3s pretty much have a public Instagram, it seems. Jillian is at Jillian's World. It's your world, Jillian. I'll take a look in just a second. So what do we know about Jillian? Jillian likes antiques. So maybe, do you think she would enjoy antique books or books about antiquing? There's a mystery book I can't think of the name of that has antique in the title. What do we know about a Taurus? Well, though technically, what is it, like your sun sign is how you appear to people, but another one of your signs is like how you really are. I don't really know. I'm just gonna go with Taurus. Tauruses were actually the most likely to offer up their Enneagram on the spreadsheet. 56% of Tauruses, meanwhile, like Capricorns could not be bothered to also add that piece of additional information. 34% went that extra mile to include that piece of info. Tauruses are seen as stubborn, but it's, I think, just because they know themselves so well. They're dedicated, passionate, resilient, and patient which makes sense for somebody who is collecting antiques. You have to wait a while. You have to really scrounge. Tauruses, I know, are like always thinking, like overthinking. Does that mean they like books that are deep and like thorough, or do they want books that are easy because they have so much like on their mind all the time already that they don't want to have to think too much? I'm thinking like a mystery book where they get to solve the mystery and like the clues are laid out for them really well. A Taurus could like that. Also, a Taurus could be a really good series person because you have to be patient for what's happening in the series. First thing that comes to mind for me is Veronica Speedwell because it's historical, antique-ish. These two people are investigating things and there's a mystery to solve in each one, but also it's such a long series that you have to wait. There's like a lot of yearning. Genre-wise, let's think of type 3s, because type 3s, it's not necessarily about being unique. I think the most like unique Enneagram is like the type 4, right? I don't think type 3 wants to be unique. I don't think they're trying to be like different. I think they want to be seen as interesting though. Jillian's 31, so a lot of these books she might have read like in her 20s. What are cool girl books that you might have read in your 20s? I think we'll see a Sally Rooney on Jillian's list. I think maybe How You Lose the Time War. Perfume and Pain is something that I've seen as like a recent cool girl book. Dolly Alderton, I think we'll see that. Maybe as far as classics, something like, what's a cool classic? Like The Bell Jar? Definitely a biography. If there is not some type of nonfiction investigating a person or a thing, I would be surprised. Maybe something about writers. I think that readers like to read about writers, or they want to be known for reading about writers. So something like Writers and Lovers or Yellowface, I wouldn't be surprised to see. I think a type 3 Taurus would really like to be known for having like the Odyssey or the Iliad as a favorite. Oh, also Jillian's a nanny though. So maybe like a book about caretaking, like about children. So like that Kevin Wilson that I love, the name's escaping me. The other ones about children that I mentioned. I think a type 3 is somebody who would be likely to put like a children's book on their list for fun. Something like Goodnight Moon or that like Rainbow Fish one. Also, I need to think about location. So this is like southern US. So maybe, oh God, I don't know. There's so many options. Secret Lives of Church Ladies popped in my head. I don't think that's specifically Texas, but I think that this list that I'm about to see is going to have a bunch of covers that are cool. Unique, like bold. I cannot forget Instagram. Instagram might give us a little bit of insight. Jillian looks fun. Jillian looks like a type 3 Taurus. Fast talker, lefty, bread and butter enthusiast. Exactly. Hell yeah, Jillian. Oh my God, what a vibe. What an aesthetic. What is, refresh my antique booth with me. We're gonna find out what an antique, I was gonna say, what is an antique booth? Does she hunt down booths that are antiques, or does she run a booth that sells antiques? Where is this booth? Do you have to go to like a fair? There's definitely gonna be a classic or two on her list, like 100%. I just can't think of exactly what it is, but I know that she has an antique copy of it and it's her pride and joy. Are you ready to find out? Because I am. Okay, number 1, Miss Piggy's Guide to Life. What is that? Exactly. This is who Jillian was in my head. And you know she found it antiquing. The Magician's Land, Wilderness Wife. What is that? You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Prep, Garlic and the Witch. I see that. The Book of the Most Precious Substance. Oh, thank you for loving that. Slewfoot, Saga, Frog and Toad. I clocked her so good. We Ride Upon Sticks, Una Out of Order, Severance. My Year of Rest and Relaxation is absolutely a cool girl book. Patricia Wants to Cuddle, another cool girl book. Jillian, indeed, knows herself, knows her taste. I can't believe I said she would have a children's book on there and she did. Someone's gonna think I'm cheating. I'm all knowing and all powerful. And I say that even though I don't think I got anything actually correct, but I got the vibe correct. Actually, maybe I didn't get the vibe correct because I said there would be some historical things I don't know that anything here is. No, they're more like weird girl books. It definitely was weirder than I thought it would be. Not really series, although I think Frog and Toad is a series. Or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a series, but I don't think it's like a long wait for anything. Thank you for participating, Jillian. Okay, so we've done Libra, Aries, Gemini, Taurus, Pisces. We've done type 1, 2, 3. Jillian was actually a 2, 3, but I stuck with the 3. A 4 and an 8. So let's find, since I was talking about 4s and how 4s are like the most unique, or what is it? They're very like individualist. They don't necessarily care what other people are into. Let's find a type 4, a unique type 4. Okay, here's something interesting. The least common zodiac sign on the spreadsheet is a Scorpio, and a Scorpio is most likely to be a type 4 or 9. So there are actually quite a few Scorpio type 4s for me to choose from. They all have very short names. It's Sam, Britta, Vicky, Jenna, Ezra, Lizzie, Maya, Zoe, Ruby. 2 syllables max for a type 4 Scorpio. They're lawyers and scientists. Chris's job title says, I don't know, bro. I work at one of those dystopian fast food gas stations. I don't know if that's genuine or if that's like a joke from something, but let's go with Chris. There is a Storygraph link, not a Goodreads or Instagram. A type 4 Scorpio would definitely be somebody who got into Storygraph before it was cool. Chris is 24 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. I think people from Pittsburgh love being from Pittsburgh and probably love books from Pittsburgh. So I'm pretty sure Perks of Being a Wallflower is Pittsburgh. If I'm wrong, that's so embarrassing. And what's that other one? Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. And because Chris is 24, I think they will still have some youthful books on their favorites. Oh, I just saw the username for Storygraph. It's Mushroom Core. Okay, that can give me a little bit of insight. Should I click on it? I don't know, because I think Storygraph has currently reading above favorites, but I don't want to be spoiled, so I'm going to make a couple guesses. But based on Mushroom Core and being a member of mine, I'm going to say Mexican Gothic. I'm going to say What Moves the Dead. What else is fungal? Or it could be like cutesy mushroom. Like maybe we're talking Emily Wilde. There's mushrooms on the cover of that. I'm going to say Sorrowland. Yeah, that one's fungal. Annihilation. I do know that Lord of the Rings, like that series, is listed for a lot of people on the spreadsheet. And I don't know like what type of reader would be liking that, but for some reason I get a vibe that this person would like Lord of the Rings. The mushroom thing could be such a misdirection. Let's think of, okay, Scorpios are charismatic. They're intense, they're confident. They're often seen as like the villains of the Zodiac, which is completely unfair. Maybe though they would lean into that, and maybe they love like a revenge story. I associate darker books with Scorpios for sure. Scorpios also like science, medicine, the occult, investigation, and strategy. I'm gonna use them mentioning the word dystopian as a clue because I don't have very much else. I'm gonna say 1984 or The Giver is gonna be on there. Maybe The Memory Police as a more recent one, maybe like Station 11 as a more recent one, Severance. I kept guessing like A Dowry of Blood for somebody and it was never anybody's favorite, so I think this person could like A Dowry of Blood and like Dracula. Type 4s are individualistic, that's the word. They have a strong sense of identity, they're unique, and they want to be appreciated as their true selves. They don't necessarily want to be trendy, they want to carve their own path. They tend to dwell. What does that mean for their reading? They tend to dwell. So do they like, either they like characters who also have that internal overthinking, or they hate characters who do that and they just want to move on with the plot so they can spend their time thinking about stuff. I'm thinking with the career and age and stuff, maybe like mundane, like I don't know what I'm doing with my life kind of stories, erotic stories for Punjabi widows, Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, Migrations, Martyr, Nothing to See Here. I'm just gonna go to the Storygraph really quick, see if there's anything. Okay, I do just get to see currently reading. What does early bird mean on Storygraph? Does mine say anything? Mine doesn't say anything. Oh, I can hover over it. Pre-ordered our Plus subscription plan before its early 2021 launch. Oh my God, they were on Storygraph before it was cool. Got that. Oh, mainly reads fiction books that are emotional, dark, and adventurous. Okay, Storygraph just gave me a clue. Currently reading lesbian love story. Okay, that solidifies everyone in this room will someday be dead. Maybe Chris likes chlorine. Actually, I think Chris is global. I think we're gonna have things from all over the place. We're gonna have anxious people. We're gonna have Call Me By Your Name and Confessions. I don't know why that's sticking in my head because like no one has had it, but I'm so dedicated to it. My Sister the Serial Killer, like These Violent Delights, If We Were Villains, like some darker, grittier things for sure. But then also with Chris's age, I want to put in some like more iconic queer things that I know the youth likes, like Heartstopper. It doesn't say anything about sci-fi, but I feel good about sci-fi. I think Scorpios like sci-fi. Gideon the Ninth, This Is How You Lose the Time War, like some great queer ones. Okay, I'm ready to find out and get some points. This Is How You Lose the Time War. I did it. I'm all powerful. Harrow the Ninth? I was a teenage slasher? My Heart is a Chainsaw. Oh my gosh, okay. Stephen Graham Jones fan. The Space Between Worlds. That is sci-fi, right? Bestiary. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. Okay, everyone in this room will someday be dead. That's crazy. Butter, Honey, Pig Bread, Gideon the Ninth. I knew there would be things that I haven't heard. I don't think I said that part, but obviously being an individualist, I knew there would be things that I haven't heard of. And I assumed there was gonna be like cultural stories, and there are so many things. What We Kept to Ourselves, Natural Beauty, Anita de Monte, Laughs Last, Semiosis, I have no idea what that is, but I want to know. Flux, I've thought about reading. Green Teeth, I think I want to read that. My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness. Okay. Are any of these nonfiction? Because I was confident there would be a nonfiction. Semiosis is apparently not. Okay, so with the mushroom core, I went more horror, when in fact I should have gone more sci-fi. I was wrong about the YA books that I listed, but there is some YA on the list. All of the like general fiction that I listed, not necessarily here, but there is a good amount of general fiction and stories of women like figuring out their lives. And we're gonna stop there today. I have covered 6 different zodiac signs, which is perfect because next episode I wasn't planning on doing another one, but I'm gonna do another one with the other 6. We'll hit a couple other Enneagram things. In the meantime, I'll keep collecting all of my stats if you want to add to the spreadsheet. The link is on the members tab of my channel once you join. Everyone who's joined, thank you so much. You're helping support my dreams. I hope this was fun for you to watch. I pretty much got a point for every single person, almost every single person, and I consider that a win because this could have been a massive failure and I might not have ever wanted to post it, but I feel good about some of what I did here, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.